We bring in former Stockton, California Mayor Michael Tubbs. His life has truly been extraordinary. At just 26 years old, he became the first black mayor of Stockton and the youngest mayor of any major city in American history. In his new memoir, The Deeper the Roots, he writes about growing up poor, raised by his young mother after his father was imprisoned for kidnapping, robbery, and a drug violation. And yet, he still overcame the odds against him. Thank you so much for being here, Michael.
Thank you so much for having me.
So you're 31 now, but actually decided you were going to start writing a memoir when you were 27. Normally, people kind of wait till midlife, toward the end of their life to decide. Why did you decide so young that now's the time to do my memoir?
Well, after I won my election, so many people reached out and said, you have to write about this story. And I remember growing up and reading like Black Boy by Richard Wright, which really talks about his childhood. Or It Makes Me Want to Holler by Nathan McCall, and realized that there was something very particular about how I grew up, and also being a mayor at a time when Trump was president, that I wanted to capture while I knew my memory was fresh, and where it would be raw and unfiltered and as idealistic and as dumb as a 27, 28, 29-year-old can be. And that's the book we have before us.
And you write about how your anger propelled you forward. How were you able to channel that emotion in such a successful way?
Yeah, I think rage at injustice is justifiable, but it's necessary and not sufficient. So I thought there was like two choices. I could be nihilistic and take that rage inward and be upset and be self-destructive, or I could be really clear about what I'm mad about and spend all my energy around fighting injustice, creating opportunity, and trying to make it different so that kids don't have to grow up with fathers in prison, so that kids don't have to grow up in poverty. And that anger is what really drives the work.
At just 22 years old, you were able to garner national attention. Even people like Oprah Winfrey were following your story. What do you think drew people in? And not just because they were interested in your story, but actually to vote for you into public office, even before you became mayor in city council?
I think it was sort of just the place. Like when I ran for city council, Stockton was the largest city to declare bankruptcy. And to have this kid who was at Stanford, who entered in the White House, to say, I'm going to go back and try to fix it, I think gave people hope. I think for some people it's a novelty, and for some people they didn't think it would happen. But I think for a lot of people it's like, well, this is something different. Why not try? We know the status quo isn't working, and I think the time as a city council person was spent building relationships, gaining experience, so that when I became mayor, I was actually able to deliver and do things that are now becoming national models.
What are you most proud of that you were able to achieve while you were mayor of Stockton?
I'm incredibly proud of the Stockton Scholars Program. It's a scholarship program I started where every single Stockton student for the next decade is guaranteed a 4-year, 2-year, or trade school scholarship. But also, of course, proud of the basic income work, and also very proud of the fact we reduced homicides by 40% in 2018 and 2019.
There are a lot of theories about why you weren't reelected. What do you think is chief among them?
Chief is like disinformation, this idea of sort of alternative realities is real. And while we were spending 4 years governing and trying to do things, there was a 4-year disinformation campaign using the algorithm. And also, when you're the first or the youngest, it's not because you're better than everyone else like you. That means there's some institutional bias there. So I think because of racism, because of the climate we're in, some of the lies about me being a crook, some of the lies about me stealing money, some of the lies about me being lazy, all anti-black tropes really resonate with people because, I mean, Stockton's beautiful, but it's tough. We were doing hard work and things were getting better, but when the baseline's the floor, even if you're 1 or 2 floors above, it still feels like progress is not happening enough. So it was a perfect storm of things, but disinformation, absolutely.
Feels like this is a new season for you. You've just relocated, have a new baby. What's next for you? It feels like there are many chapters still ahead.
Yeah, I'm resolute in my belief that we shouldn't have poverty. So I'm starting an initiative called End Poverty in California to focus on that. Still working with mayors on their guaranteed income programs. I'm doing a lot in storytelling, so maybe a podcast, things of that sort, and just really focus on how do we create a country that we deserve to live in, where everyone has opportunity and when stories like mine aren't anomalies, but they're given because we actually give people the resources and the investments to reach their full potential.
Anybody who picks up your book, what do you hope that they take away?
I hope they take away the fact that mentorship matters, that love of adults really matters, and that it's not enough to talk about roses who grow from concrete, but we have to really interrogate why we want roses to grow from concrete in the first place. Let's plant children in environments with rich soil and nutrients, and we'll be amazed at how they blossom and how they contribute to our world.
Bloom where you're planted. I thank you so much for talking with us. Congratulations on the book. Michael Tubbs, The Deeper the Roots. It is now available wherever books are sold.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.